It's purging time. Have completed the purge. Skiz, Scar, and I went through and eradicated the pop-ups. And guess what? The shopping district looks better for it. I've removed the message on the billboard, and that means I need to come up with something else that needs to go there. And we popped all of the pop-up purge shops. That was quite difficult to say. Back here in the pop-up graveyard. Scar decided that we needed to recreate them, and I gotta admit, my efforts were somewhat pale imitations of the original. So here's my shops. They look, you know which shop they were. This was the hay bale one. This is the dirt shop. This is the endstone one. They're just like kind of me building from memory. But I need to point out, I think everyone needs to know, the insanity that was Etho's stock for all of the stone and stuff that he had. I don't know where he got all that from, but there is so much. Ultimately, though, most people had already moved or upgraded their shops. They just didn't get rid of the pop-ups. So they're now safely there, and the shopping district looks great. It's even prompted some people to make proper shops, including one that I need to use right now because I'm going to need some. The iron shop, which is Mumbo's. And not only has he made a pretty fantastic looking build, I was so impressed by the noises. What's that noise? I know that's an iron golem noise, the boom. What's the ch? There's also a back. I've been spending a good like 5 minutes now trying to figure out what this noise is, but there's more than one noise, and I can't figure out where it's coming from either. The button is here. Oh, we're going down into the mines. Well, it's louder down here. I didn't bring any diamonds. He hasn't got an ender chest here. I'll save him. I'll save him from Cub, because Cub will have him for this. 4 diamonds per stack. 1, 2. Well, the noise is coming from around here. Even in free cam, I can't see where he's hidden the sounds. Oh my goodness. It's down here. It's all the way down here. And it's a wither. Wow, I knew that sound so well. That was really, I'm so relieved. And a wither skelly. Oh, Mumbo, this is fantastic sound design. You've got like the churning of a conveyor belt. You've got the thud of the iron golem, and then like the steam of the wither. That is genius, Mumbo. I can't tell you how relieved I am. There's probably lots of people screaming, it was a wither, but I just, for some reason, I just couldn't think what it was. I knew it was something in that. I thought it was maybe a ghast, but no, a ghast would kind of go, eh. Right. We have now solved a very important mystery that I created all by myself. Let's turn our attention to what we actually need to do today. There's a couple of things we're going to do today. We've obviously achieved the purge very early on in this episode. We have completely gutted the place, even all that starter area junk, which was really quite the blight on the shopping district. The portal is still something that needs addressing, but we can leave that for now. My shop is something that needs to get created this episode. I still got some work to do on it. And last episode, I mentioned about the new permits and creating a Taskmaster, Permit Master parody on the Hermitcraft server. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that this episode just because Cub is the manager's on vacation. The manager's on holiday, of course. We did the pop-up purge without him. So that will be next episode. However, I can probably share with you some of the tone of what it will be like. As I'm organising this, there's a very distinct difference between a TV show and a YouTube production. Now, on a TV show, you're creating one single product where you're filming what's going on and then collating it into one thing. Well, with this, we're creating 10 pieces of media, and that means that everyone needs to have something slightly unique. So the tasks that I've come up with are designed to give everyone a unique point of view that encourages everyone to check everyone out. So that does mean there's a bit of a sacrifice on mine and Cub's part, as we're not participating. Our POVs will be, well, slightly less unique than the rest, but that's okay, because we're willing to do that, and the rest of the hermits that participate are happy to give us a bit of footage so that you can get the whole picture. And I'm hoping that this is going to be extremely organic. They won't know what the tasks are when we do this later this week. So for example, I might say, do the most impressive thing with this fish, and then give them 10 minutes, for example. I've got better ones than that, but you get the idea. I'm very excited, but let's circle back, get this Prismarine thing done, because that's one of the two things I want to do. The other thing is to go into the trial chambers again, but don't worry, it won't be an hour-long trial chambers. I'm just gonna grab some stuff and get out. So let's crack on with this build, the Prismarine Palace, because it's starting to take shape. It's just a mess at the moment. So let's go. And we are complete. I need to be completely transparent and honest with you. I found this build particularly difficult. Mentally difficult. It is actually quite structurally challenging. If I pop into free cam so we can take an easier look at this thing, I actually think the shape, although it's simple with a single cylinder, the roof in particular provided me a really hard challenge. I had such a difficult time getting these bits here to work with me. And there's a couple of things that I don't like about it. So what I do like is the color palette. It is the Prismarine Palace, and it is mostly made out of Prismarine. It does have a few accent colors in there as well, and it took quite a lot of me testing out various things to land on this palette. The bit that I don't like and will require further building is I don't like how the build hits the water. It kind of doesn't transition very well. This build almost looks like it would be better placed out of the water, and trust me, this was a this might be the longest I spent on a single build this season. I think I can count maybe 9 to 10 hours worth of building, and I don't feel like I have 9 to 10 hours worth of building in return. So this one really was quite a difficult slog for me, but I'm pleased with where it's at. Now, obviously, I've got to stop for my own sake, so I don't burn out. I've got to stop now and consider doing the rest of the interior, which obviously isn't done. I need to consider doing this another time. I do want to do a little interior here in the future. I've got some temporary stock there for now, but I also need to do something to integrate this into the water and beneath, so it looks so lonely and isolated on its own, and I didn't quite anticipate that when I thought about this in my mind. There is one thing we're going to do here, though, and there's a hole here for a very good reason, and that's because, now, if you didn't fly in here, if you just walked in here without elytra, everyone has elytra, but it's always common courtesy to make sure your builds in the shopping district are accessible through not flying or getting out, because some people might just fly into that ceiling and hurt themselves. So what we're going to do is create something that's new to 1.21 and I absolutely love, and that's a wind charge launcher. I'm going to create one of these here and probably one at my base as well, because it's a very quick way of just going whoosh, straight into the air. So we're going to go and grab some dispensers, because it's actually so easy to make these. This is the redstone shop on the server, and I think it belongs to Tango. Now, I've not been here before. What a very, very lovely build. What a lovely pattern on the floor as well. It's only if you look really closely with the blackstone that you realise that there's a bit of a transition between the two. But look at that. That's such a good pattern. Oh, Tango is in his building era, and I am here for it. Right. This is dispensers. 8 diamonds per... I take back everything I just said, Tango. I don't like this. Chickens of all things as well. 8 diamonds. In fact, you can have 9. And the other thing this build might be lacking is some kind of personality that shows what it is. Because at the moment, it's a very beautiful build, don't get me wrong. But look, the trim shop, it says trims. You got big wood. You got... I don't know, like, everything kind of has a bit more personality. It's lacking that element of personality at the moment, and I need to think about how I can show that this is a shop in a more fun way. Right, this is a super easy thing to do. All you gotta do is dispensers 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 on the bottom, a pressure plate, that's it. That's all you gotta do, no redstone, nothing, just some dispensers. You put some wind charges in, and this is how you get out. Whoop. Oh. There we go, and look at... Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa, what's going on? What's happening? There we go. I genuinely don't know what happened there, but how perfect is that? That was not planned. The distance between here and there was exactly what I needed. That gave me just the right amount of boost, which... Where did my bed go? Yeah, so, weird things are happening. My bed just that's what's happening. Things are disappearing on the server. There's a technical issue that needs addressing. So, actually, any progress that thank goodness I did this build yesterday. Well, anyway, look at that! There's one... Maybe it's the one on the bottom is not needed, because one of them is... See, one of them is hitting. I don't need this bottom wind charge, perhaps? Let's test, because, I mean, that'll save on that'll save on resources. Right, let's give this a go. So if you want to get out, you just... Whoop! Ah. Hey! Yeah, don't need the one on the bottom. Just the side ones. And you've got the way out done and dusted. Maybe that's too cheap. I think that might even be cheaper than what it was before. But I have very thoroughly had enough of this build. So I am going to get out of here in style. Yeah! That is so satisfying. We are going to make so many of these. Right. Now, I know I said earlier that the task master, or should I say permit master cubby wubby cub cub, I do actually need to do just a little bit of prep. And I think back here might be great since there's quite a lot of us playing. I have put together 2 chairs. One for big old cubby wubby cub cub and little old me. With Cub being the taskmaster, he gets the big seat and I get the little one. The nature of the tasks are pretty simple, so I won't actually have to do too much setup. It's basically just chairs. I need to come up with a little pedestal maybe for them to present their thing. They've been asked to bring the most exciting thing from their base as the prize task. And then Cub will decide which one is the most exciting. So we'll put it there. Cub can see easily there. Okay, there we go. So we've got our pedestal. We have our 2 chairs. And I've got my tasks ready. Okay, so if you're standing pretty much anywhere, you should be able to see me or Cub. The setup is not that long. And like I said, this won't be in today's episode, but it will be in the next. Maybe on its own, and maybe soon after this video releases. Excellent. We're ready? Well, that was... Sorry, I just... that was a little closer than I meant to get all up in your personal space. So let's pack everything away, because it's time to visit the old chambers. And if you don't know what Taskmaster is, it's a brilliant show, but it does have some language that isn't appropriate for younger viewers. So if you were thinking of looking at it and checking it out, it is all on YouTube, by the way. Just be warned that it is not very PG at all. Okay, let's get set up. Bad omen. Compasses. Now, I'm hoping that this won't take long, but my previous experience in the trial chambers is that it is horrendously difficult. I am on a mission to try and get some wind bursts and maybe another mace. And of course, some more breeze rods and wind charges. I put my wind burst book in my ender chest. I thought I'd lost. I just put it in my ender chest the whole time. We still need more than one. Unfortunately, I only got, after 4 hours, I got one of these, but I'm hoping to get a couple of things out of this trip. All right, we'll have to make do without a bow. This might be a terrible, terrible mistake, but we'll have to do. Let's go all the way over to our Prismarine farm and then try and find a village from there. There we go. I was just checking. I'm 8,000 blocks out before I found one, and I just realized I don't have a cartographer's table, so might need to hope that there's something here for me. Oh my goodness. So it is a little bit tedious, and I could just free cam, but I'm not sure that's quite in the spirit of the game, is it? And the other thing is that we actually need a lot of these empty maps. I don't, but actually Beef does, because if you remember last season, or if you weren't around last season, Beef made a TCG, a trading card game for the server, and it's making a return this season. And he needs as many empty maps as he can get his hands on for the cards. And he's also released a real-life TCG featuring all of the hermits, and here are my cards. I worked very closely with two artists called SciSketch and 70 Art, and they did such a great job with my cards. So you got Permit Office Grian, and you've got the alter ego, my guy, by association only, Poultry Man. I really, really love these cards, and if you are interested in the TCG, the second season of it, there is a link in the description if you want to check it out. But it is very close to the deadline. Trial Explorer map, that's all we need. One of those. I never thought compasses were going to be so useful. Right, where is it? It's over there. It should be directly beneath us. Don't try this at home. Digging straight down is a terrible idea most of the time. And we are in. I understand it can be a bit repetitive, but there's a couple of things that I did want to talk about during this. Okay, I think we're good to go. Oh, no. I didn't bring my bad omen. I've left the bad omen at home. There is one thing, and one thing only, that really bothers me about the 1.21 update. I want to sing praises to Mojang and what they've accomplished here, because I really, really like this update. It's got something for everyone. They've done a fantastic job, but you might notice what I'm doing right now, and this is the one little problem I have with this update, and it's the overabundance, the overuse of copper blocks in the game. I would say 121 has... Hello. 121 has turned the copper permit into maybe a gold tier, maybe even an iron tier. These trial chambers have completely undermined the value of copper. I will never need to mine raw copper ever again unless I need raw copper, because I have everything I need, including oxidized copper. I mean, look at this. I've got a stack of full copper blocks. And the bulbs. These are really the most expensive blocks in the game, and I'm getting them for free, completely, already pre-waxed as well. So that's my one major concern. I'm also aware that I am doing the trial chambers absolutely fully overgeared. I actually think that the trial chambers are more than difficult enough, and they're pretty fun as well. I do think that maybe some of the potatoes shouldn't be in the big boy loot table. But, you know, it's not perfect, but I just think they're just such a good addition. They're very, very good. And even fully geared, I'm taking a bit of damage. But look at all this copper. Copper everywhere. I actually wanted to do a little bit of a test while I was here. I mean, hopefully I get the wind burst as well while I'm here. But the biggest test for me is seeing how many copper blocks I will acquire from a few minutes mining in here. Honestly, I think this is the best update we've had probably since the aquatic one, to be honest. And if I'm allowed to share my opinion for a second, I think part of the problem with the update system in general with what they do, and I think they've probably learned from this already, is that they probably give a little bit too much information and then don't always deliver it, and that can be a problem. And I think a lot of the criticism that is probably due is like how they handle updates in general. I think they give a lot of information away and everyone gets to play them in the snapshot, so that a year later when it actually comes out, no one's surprised or finds it fun because they've already seen it or checked it out or anything. There wasn't a lot of surprises left, but actually there were some pleasant surprises with this one. Well, at least for me, because I've intentionally stayed away from snapshots. You'll notice that I don't do snapshot videos anymore, and I have managed to stay away from any of like kind of the spoilers or the news. And so when I actually got to play the trial chambers for the first time, it was new to me and I didn't know all the details. So there was this old school sense of exploration about it, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I think I will continue into the future. And I hope that Mojang will continue not to give absolutely everything away information-wise about their future updates. It's really nice getting a pleasant surprise that no one was expecting, that everyone can have fun with. Okay, enough. Oh, that's right between the eyes, quite literally. I mean, I'm not actually having a much of a trial chamber experience at the moment. I'm just gathering copper. Right, so once I've mined this out, I think I'll have made my point a little bit. I've been here in this trial chamber for under 20 minutes total, and I haven't even scratched the surface on mining this entire place out of copper. And check this out. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4... I've got 4+ stacks of oxidized copper. I've got 3 normal. I've got bulbs. I've got chiseled copper. I think thoroughly I've made my point on the copper front. 20 minutes in a single trial chamber. If I had to get that much copper before 1.21, it would take literally hours. Now, I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing. I just think the proportion of copper in the trial chamber, it might be a little bit undermining to the copper system and the copper block and actually mining, because they're not difficult to find. And it's not difficult to mine. So I think I've made my point. Let's try and find some keys. I don't know where this breeze doesn't exist. I can't find it. Okay. I don't think. Oh, did I need Bad Omen to summon the breezes? Is that what it is? I think I might need to go and do an entire another chamber because I didn't bring the right potion with me. I can't believe how much that's actually made this basically impossible. Alright, that was that entire chamber done. So, time to get out of here. In fact, I made the point I wanted to. Maybe this will be something that I do off camera, because trial chambers, as fun as they are to play, they're not that fun to watch. And that is the end of today's episode. Oh, let me try. There we go. That is the end. Oh, no. There we go. That is the end of today's episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I thoroughly look forward to the Permit Master video that should be quickly soon to follow.